Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our August 19 Planning and Economic Development Land Use Committee meeting. Can I have staff do roll call, please?
Ballard,
Here.
Clark is absent. Adams is absent. Hoey,
Here.
Zamer,
Here.
3 present. We're also joined by Legislative Director Brian Jimenez, Junior Legislative Aide Carly Johnson, and Planning Director Brad Glass.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. I know during the summer it's hard to get people together, so I'm glad that we've got everyone here today, and appreciate you all taking your time to allow us to move this forward. So we have 2 resolutions in front of us, the reappointment of Paige Burnham to the City Board of Planning, as well as Celeste Roller, apologize for mispronouncing the name, for the zoning, Board of Zoning Appeal. Now, Celeste is unable to join us today due to pre-planned vacation with her family, but I would like council members to review the applicant's resume, and if there's any questions or concerns, so we can bring that forward. Now, I want to make sure council members are aware, today is the last day we can vote on these individuals and actually have an impact on the, no, we do have a member, we have one of them here, so. Oh, Celeste on the screen? Oh, you got him? Oh, great, I didn't think she was. Okay, good, thank you. Oh, I appreciate that. Okay, great. So that makes it even easier. So for committee members, today is one of the last days we could actually vote up or down these individuals and then have any consequences, because we are running up against our 45-day deadline. So I really am appreciative for the members and everyone that has made themselves available in person and online. So let's get started, and if we don't mind, I'm actually going to say let's get started with Celeste, just so that we can get you back on your vacation, since we've got you on Zoom.
Thanks. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Okay, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you'd like to be on the zoning board?
Sure. So I come from a long family of people who have volunteered for both planning boards and zoning boards of appeals. I'm from Dutchess. Both of my grandfathers and my father have chaired both the planning boards and BZAs at certain times in their life, for like probably the last 70 some odd years in our small community. So it's kind of just how I grew up, is talking about zoning, appropriate use of land and community context and community resources and availability to those resources. So it's just something I've been steeped in my entire life, and it's about, I feel like, just with how I grew up, it's kind of about time that I volunteer and help my community where I live if I can.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from committee members? Councilmember Hoey.
Yeah, thank you, Chair, and thank you, Celeste, for attending the meeting on your vacation. And I feel terrible, but it's part of the process that we have to go through. The only question I have for you is, I know with the Board of Appeals, one of the problems over the years that they've had is quorum. You know, enough members showing up so they can actually vote on stuff. So do you think you'll be able to, you know, make most of the meetings if possible?
Absolutely. Mayor Sheehan, when she interviewed me, was very clear about that this is really important, that, you know, I really need to show up to all of them in order to have a functioning board, which absolutely makes sense.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Any additional questions by committee members? Do you have any questions for us?
Not at this time. I think this is something I'm just going to have to be steeped in and learn, and maybe one day I'll have questions. But at this point, I just think I need to hit the ground running and start listening and enjoying those meetings when or if I'm allowed to.
Okay. Well, again, we appreciate you taking the time to meet with us. You know, I know it's tough during the summer, but we appreciate you making every effort to be able to be with us and meet with the council. So at this point, if there's no further questions, I hope you have a good rest of your safe vacation.
Wow, thank you. How will I find out if I'm appointed or not?
So our normal process is we go into executive session, we discuss the candidates, and then after that we go out of executive session, and depending on the vote, we will you reach out to the person in private, or we will have a public vote and let people know. So someone will contact you tomorrow, one way or the other.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks. I appreciate this opportunity, and it's my pleasure to call in and talk a little bit about me. So if anybody else has additional questions, they're more than welcome to send me an email, or Paige even has my phone number. So.
Okay. Well, with that said, we got one more question from Councilmember Howie.
Well, it's more of a point of information for you that if your name comes out of committee, then it has to go to the full council. Just want to make sure you understand that. And that's a 15-member, and we'll be meeting not this Monday, but a week from Monday. So just to give you a heads up on that.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, I mean, you have my credentials. You probably have my resume. I have my master's in land use planning. Something I grew up with, something I thoroughly enjoy, and I've been a planner for many years, and currently at New York State DOT, doing more transportation planning related projects.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Is it okay if I hop off?
You can hop off. Yes. Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody. Have a nice evening.
Yes. Bye-bye. Okay. Excellent. Next, we'll go with Paige. If you don't mind joining us in the hot seat.
Satisfactory illumination, I love it.
So yes, just let us know a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in joining the planning board.
Yeah, a little bit about myself. I am a practicing planner. I've been in the profession for about 10 years now. I have my graduate degree in city and regional planning from Cornell University, and I've practiced as a professional at the municipal level, overseeing as a planning staff member multiple both planning boards and historic preservation commissions. I currently work on behalf of New York State's Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, where I'm senior planner overseeing a staff of 5 other planners. And so we tackle a variety of issues you encounter in the administration of our state parks and historic site system. So anything from transportation planning issues, historic preservation issues, accessibility, circulation, obviously park and sustainability issues. I also, for the past 4 years, have been appointed to the city's Board of Zoning Appeals. And my interest in planning is much like Celeste's, where, like many civil servants, I have a long history of sort of being, raised with a mentality of when you have opportunities and sort of a history of community engagement and the availability to offer that to others. That's something I enjoy doing, something I'm very passionate about outside of my profession. Many of my sort of extracurriculars are related to community engagement in a variety of facets, particularly with the library system here in Albany and the Historic Albany Foundation. So planning is obviously a very multidisciplinary, interconnected field, and so that's something that I feel passionate about. I enjoy it as a creative, active community service, and like that, offer that to sort of my adopted city here of Albany, New York.
Okay, thank you very much. Questions from committee members? Councilmember Zama.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you so much for your willingness to continue service. So, just to be clear, this would be an appointment to the planning board. Okay.
Correct.
I think I may have said reappointment, but okay. But you have been serving. You've previously served on the zoning.
Correct, yeah. I think on the agenda, it's written as a reappointment, but the resolution is actually an appointment to the planning board. I was first appointed to the Board of Zoning Appeals in January 2021, I believe it was.
Okay. I'm curious about what your takeaways are, or what you would look forward to contributing on the planning board, what your takeaways are from the
Yeah,
Board of Zoning.
absolutely. So one of the unique challenges, I think, for practicing planners when they serve on boards of zoning appeals is you're obviously held to sort of the letter of the law, and you are stuck to administration of the written text before you. And one of the, I think, great skills and powers of the planning profession is creativity and working with applicants and projects to get to the best solution for the community, for economic development, for the overall health and progress of a community. So sometimes I found it a little challenging to turn off my planner brain and sort of be like, this is the text we have before us, and very specifically applying that to the case. But one of the nice things is often in planning and zoning applications, you can set conditions and work with applicants and find a balance that works for, a developer who has obviously a financial stake, but also community who day to day will live with these projects. So that's something I look forward to on the planning board, is a little more, I think, flexibility and opportunities for interpreting the cases before us.
Great, thank you very much.
Councilmember Hoey.
Yeah, thank you, Chair, and thank you, Paige. Well, where do I even begin without making Brad cringe? But sorry, Brad. I got elected back in 2018 and came on the council in 19. But even right after the election, a project came up in front of the planning board in my ward, 1211 Western Avenue. The neighborhood didn't want it. I didn't want it. We came down, we protested, we founded a group called About Stories. I have the poster underneath my thing, but I won't bring it out. But one of the problems was, the planning, when I asked for the reappointment of the chair of the planning board, I said, how many projects have you rejected since, he was on since, I think, 2012, and he said two. Two projects were rejected, and they were not big projects, but small, little, like two-family homes. And but anyhow, the building that we fought and said that it doesn't belong there and it's not right, is still there. It's still not completed. The company is fiscally, who knows what's going on. City gave them, the IDA gave them a $14 million grant. We don't know where that is. That was supposed to have been pulled back. But I'm going into this long thing. I think it's super, super important for anybody to serve on the board, that it's not going along to get along, that you're really, you're representing the city and really looking at projects and what their impact are. Now, just recently, I hadn't been in front of the planning board in quite a few years, and I went back, I want to say it was like May, maybe June, and I asked them to hold off on a project. Well, it's not a project, but we have legislation allowing ADUs. That's going to allow ADUs, pretty much get rid of the single-family zoning in the city, which in my ward, that's all there is. It's all single-family homes. We're the only place, well, we're one of the biggest wards in the city where there is space to expand and do stuff. And there was a lot of problems with the legislation. That has been fixed, and it did pass out of this committee about a month ago. But all I did was ask the board, can you just wait till we get the legislation squared away? And they pushed it through. And it was actually the chair which even said, well, it's unusual for a chair to make the motion to get it through, but I could see it in people's faces. Nobody wanted to go against the chair. And to me, that's a concern. And, you know, I'm just, you know, my question, I guess, because I should make it a question, is do you feel that you could be independent enough that you would stand your ground and make sure that what you feel professionally is right, not politically, but professionally, could you stand up to even if 4 people were against you?
Yeah, I think so. Like, one of the things is, so in the planning profession, we have what is AICP, American Institute of Certified Planners. And one of the things when you pass your exam, and it's sort of, you know, our credentialing process, is there is an AICP code of ethics. And one of the things is standing up for what is right and what is professional best practice. And I take that very seriously. I know lots of people like to differentiate between their professional and personal lives, but I've very specifically intertwined my professional and personal life, and I feel that it's, you know, sort of a moral position I have, and something that I recognize you do put yourself out there in the community when you sit on these boards. And, you know, there's, of course, Times Union commentary about many decisions that are made from various boards.
Yeah.
But all that to say that, you know, as I was responding to Councilmember Zamer, I like the creativity, and I like being able to offer a professional planning perspective on the board. I don't personally know any of the other board members. I imagine as you work together, you come to know one another, but, you know, being able to say, you know, here is my opinion as a professional, having worked in municipalities, having worked at a state level, and knowing that there are many ways you can build consensus, build comfort in a community for something like ADUs, you know, or I'm pretty sure I know which project you refer to on Western Avenue, and I think there's some conditions you can put on planning approvals to help temper projects that, you know, are not too big to fail, right?
Yeah,
But
with
all that to say, in a long-winded, circuitous way, you know, I don't plan to sit and necessarily keep quiet. I like asking questions, and one of the strengths, too, of being a planner is it's about building consensus. So if everyone seems opposed to me, is that an opportunity to educate, ask questions, and get people to explain their own conviction for why they're on one side or the other? We might find, I think, in having thoughtful conversation that we can say, you know, we would like to, you know, hold this case for another, you know, for additional information to discuss, you know, have the applicant go out to the community, educate, what have you, so.
No, thank you. And I've been at, like I said, I was at a lot more meetings earlier, and it was pre-COVID, some of the meetings. I remember being there, it was 10, 11 o'clock at night, so just, there's some night, and maybe I'm hoping, well, we want to see projects, so we do want to see, but just that you're ready to do it. And just to add a little sidebar for that project, you know, the mayor said, because originally it was going to be dorms, and then they turned around when the mayor said no, and said, oh, we're going to make it luxury apartments, 600 square feet, but they were advertising it as dorms, all the way up to when they ran into trouble, so, and, but you're so refreshing. I really appreciate you coming tonight and applying, and you made me feel good, so thank you.
Any additional questions by any committee members? No? Okay. Well, I want to thank you again for your willingness to apply and your willingness to take this on. I know that these boards are not easy to serve on, and they do come with quite a bit of attention and sometimes a lot of passion in these meetings. So I appreciate you willing to take that on. Do you have any questions for the committee members?
I don't. Thank you for the consideration.
Well, thank you. And at that point, hope you have a good rest of your night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, for members, executive session, yes.
I make a motion, we go into executive session for personnel considerations.
I think you say for consideration of filling
Okay,
boards.
vacancies, yes.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we're gonna head into executive session. Thank you all for being here, and hope you have a good evening. And staff, you can take us offline. Executive session, I'll be back online. Let me know. Okay, so now we've out of executive session. Thank you for those who are still joining us online. So we have two resolutions that we're going to push forward with today. Do you have the resolution numbers? They're not on the agenda. Okay, now here they are, never mind, second page. Let's start with Resolution 887225R, the appointment of Paige, how do you say her last name? Bond? Okay, Bond. Okay, Paige Bond for the Planning Board for a term that expires on December 31st, 2027. Do I have a motion to move out of committee with a positive recommendation, Resolution 887225R?
I'll make a motion to move Resolution 88.72.25R out of committee with a favorable recommendation.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that passes out with unanimous consent. Okay. Next. Okay, next we have Resolution 89-72-25R, the appointment of Celeste Roller Harp to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a term that expires December 31st, 2025. Can I get a motion to move out with a positive recommendation, Resolution 89-72-25R?
I'll make a motion to move Resolution 897225R out of committee with a favorable recommendation.
Is there a
Second.
Okay, excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that also passes through unanimous consent. This will be voted on our August 18th Common Council meeting. Is there any further actions here by any committee members? No? Okay. If there's not, can I get
Motion to adjourn.
a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and thank you, everyone who joined us in person and remote today.